Hey everyone, let's talk about something kind of strange in investing. A dangerous paradox, really. It's this idea that your biggest wins, the very success in your portfolio, could actually be setting you up for a fall. We're going to unpack that hidden risk today. Let's get right into it.
So this right here, this really nails the problem we're talking about. Think about it. You do everything right. You set up a smart, balanced 60-40 portfolio, 60% stocks, 40% debt to keep things stable. But then the market has a great run. Your stocks soar. And before you know it, that safe 60-40 mix has secretly morphed into an aggressive 80-20. Your whole risk strategy is out the window, and you didn't even do anything.
Which leads to a pretty scary question, right? Is your portfolio's growth actually a ticking time bomb? It's a tough thing to think about, but if you're serious about investing for the long haul, you absolutely have to consider it.
Okay, so let's put a name to this villain in our story. It's called portfolio drift, and it really is like a silent saboteur, sneakily undoing all the careful planning you put into your financial future.
And here's the wild part about drift. It's not a sign you did something wrong. It's actually a sign you did something right. Your investments grew. But when one asset, like your stocks, just rockets up way faster than everything else, it starts to dominate your portfolio. And the problem is, with that bigger slice of the pie comes a much, much bigger helping of risk. All right, so what does this drift actually look like in the real world? Let's play doctor for a minute. We're going to diagnose this thing, show you exactly how it happens and what it's really doing to your money.
Okay, this slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, that's your plan. That's your target. A nice, sensible 60% in stocks, 40% in debt. You were totally cool with that level of risk. But after a couple of great years in the market, look at the reality on the right. Suddenly, you're sitting on an 80-20 portfolio. Without even realizing it, you've taken on way more stock market risk than you ever signed up for.
And here it is in a simple chart. That jump from 60 to 80, it might not look like a huge number, but trust me, in terms of risk, it is a massive leap. You basically stumbled completely by accident from a balanced plan into a high-risk, aggressive growth strategy.
So here's the real kicker. What does that actually mean for you? It means your portfolio's volatility, its tendency to have wild swings up and down, can shoot up by a staggering 20 to 30%. And that means when the market inevitably has a downturn, your portfolio is going to get hit way, way harder than you were ever prepared for.
Okay, so that's the bad news. That's the diagnosis. But the good news is there's a cure. A really effective one, actually. So let's talk about the solution. It's a simple, disciplined process called rebalancing.
And the logic here is just so beautiful and simple. Rebalancing literally forces you to do the one thing every investor says they want to do: systematically sell high and buy low. You're taking some profits from the stuff that's done really well, and you're using that cash to buy the stuff that's on sale, the underperformers. And just like that, you're back to the risk level you wanted in the first place.
And look, I know it might sound complicated, but it's really not. It's basically these 4 super simple steps. First, you just check how far things have drifted. Then you sell the winners, buy the losers, and boom, you're back in balance. Simple as that. Now, there are a couple of popular ways to do this. You can be a time-based person and just check in on a schedule, like every 6 months or once a year. Or you can be threshold-based, which just means you only step in when something gets, say, 5% out of whack. Honestly, both methods work great. It's all about picking the one that you'll actually stick with.
So you might be thinking, is this really worth the effort? And the answer is a huge yes, because this isn't just about playing defense. Rebalancing can actually boost your returns. It plays a huge role in the magic of compounding. Let me show you the proof. Okay, now this is where it gets really exciting. Because you're constantly locking in some gains and buying things when they're cheaper, studies have shown that a good rebalancing strategy can add an extra 1 or even 2% to your returns every single year. I mean, that might not sound like a lot, but over 20 or 30 years, that is a life-changing amount of money.
And this isn't just theory. Look at this real-world example from India. After the huge market run-up in 2021, a correction hit in 2022. Guess who came out on top? The investors who had rebalanced. They had already taken some profits, so they were much better protected from the fall. In fact, their portfolios ended up compounding 2 to 3% higher than the people who just let it all ride. That's proof right there. So you really got to stop thinking of this as boring homework. Rebalancing isn't just admin. It's like changing the oil in your car. It's the essential maintenance you have to do to keep your wealth-building engine running smoothly and powerfully for the long haul.
All right, let's bring this all home.
I want to give you a clear, simple checklist, your prescription, if you will, to make sure that compounding engine of yours stays perfectly tuned and ready to go.
Okay, here's what you can do. First, just get in the habit of looking at your portfolio every few months to see if things have drifted. Second, go play around with a rebalancing calculator online. It's pretty cool to see the actual numbers and the potential impact. And third, just be smart about it. Check if there are any fees or taxes involved so you can do it in the most efficient way possible.
So, I'll leave you with this one simple question. When was the last time you rebalanced? Be honest. If you can't remember, well, that's your sign. That silent risk we've been talking about, portfolio drift, it might be growing in your account right now. But the good news is, you now know exactly what to do about it.